and load. I see the bomb carrier. I need help. I need help. Bomb carrier downrange. Three guys left. Two bad guys left.
Bomb has been planted.
Roger that. Defusing the bomb.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Move it, move it! Sniper.
So you can actually on Linux you can play games really easy. I'm using Steam right now. There is other one that you can actually. There's a couple different other plugins you can use. You can run with through Wine, and it does give you a list of what devices are free to play. And I was just playing Counter Strike. They do have a lot of. There's a lot of games you can play through Steam. It's a very easy library. And if Steam is not working, you got Wine, and then you also have a plugin. That's another one is called Lotus. Those are the if you're trying to play some games on Linux, there it is possible. They also are very possible to run Windows programs. If you can't, we can always run on through games. Won't run through virtual machines, but you can very easily run it through emulate it by through using through Wine or even using Lotus to be able to try to run some Windows emulation if you need to. I try to use to run things natively because I do get a little bit better frame rates on them. So that is an option you always have to be able to do. Is just going to go ahead. So this one thing you can actually do is really easy is to be able to Linux do some gaming on Linux. You get pretty good frame rates on it. I didn't even have everything. I had my settings all set to max. Granted, that's going to be more your video card in your processor. I have a 3900X here, so I did sure it records some basic gameplay on there. Not the best at CSGO, but this is kind of show you that Linux can do gaming if you'd like to be able to do gaming there. There's a lot more features gaming's coming here, and I'm going to have to go and we'll show that in the future here. So that's showing that Linux does have a lot of capabilities. The other thing you can also do is eventually you can actually use, just like for example, there's Open Office, that what they call LibreOffice is what you can be able to use. It's very close to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Excel. So there is things you can be able to do Pretty much anything you could pretty much run on Windows, you can run on Linux. Linux does give you a lot more capabilities, a lot more customizations. Since basically the layout I have is kind of like a Mac, without have to pay for all the pricing, and I know that my hardware is not going to get locked down in about a couple years when it stops trying to make sure that they're not going to have anything that's going to stop my devices from charging. So there is some positive notes there from at least on there. We'll eventually go on through some future things we're probably going to do. Is we're going to have we'll have some videos about Emacs there. That is a pretty good there. We'll also have some work with some Vim or even Nano, so that we can actually kind of use a text editor. We'll show the file difference between like cat and creating those things. We do have, if you want to program pretty well, we have like Atom, and there's a whole bunch of other editors you can use, but it pretty much it's there. Browser wise, you can always use anything like Firefox or Chromium or Chrome. So you do have a lot of options there. Security wise, Fedora is amazing on security side of everything. We've talked about some security testing operating systems there. If you want to run Spotify looks really well through this, which we can show here in a second here. So we're just going to go ahead and bring up Spotify. I don't want to play any music because I don't want to have any kind of copyright strikes here, but you can very easily they do have it where you can, Spotify works really well through Linux here, and you can play some in the background. It's if you want something that's going to be able to, it's free, you don't have to pay for anything. You do have a capability of, there's some great utilities, probably some of my favorite utilities you're going to be able to want to use if you want to have any problems, like maybe with like a flash drive or anything and you need to reformat. Gparts are really good. You can also reformat hard drives really easy through this. Gpart is a really good program. So you can actually see here. You can see you can see our two part. You can see the difference of the drives, and you can see both of my NVMe drives. I have one is a Samsung, and my other one is a Gigabyte. Here, we're gonna actually go to one of the other videos about one of my other videos are going to be placed on here. Is how to be able to update your firmware on your Gigabyte motherboard. So that's a future video you can also look out for. You may not have a Gigabyte, but process is pretty much the same with a lot of different motherboards, on how to basically go and boot up, reflash the firmware. So that's one of the things you can be very easy to be able to do. You just need to look up your model of your equipment here. So that is options you can always do to be able to kind of look at everything here. So you can always see if you want to hit the up arrow, you can always look at everything's been installed or redone here, or see what's going on really quickly, or any kind of recent commands you've ran. You can tell I've been trying to just run some basic commands. You may see some of these other ones into other videos that we've had done about how to use network utilities and how to go through that. There's HTOP, there's Wireshark. That's always a good program, so you can always look at what's going on here. Wireshark is probably one of my favorite programs to use if you want to kind of look at packet analysis, and we'll go to a little bit more in depth into that so that we can kind of have a little bit more information there and look at the PCAP files and look at history. You can always type in clear and you can go through there. This is just going through things we ran to kind of run through their Pi. There we've had another one here. So you do have a couple different commands you can run if you don't know what to be able to look for here. So in the up arrow kind of shows you what you have. hping is a good one. There's all the history commands. You might want to clear up your history every once in a while. Good one. Who am I? Is a good command here. Time and date, services, uptime. So there's a lot of commands you can do. If you ever want to know, if you don't know anything, you can always use the word help. It shows you some list of commands. If you ever have a page, like for example, you don't know what something does, you can always go to the man pages. So man pages in map. And if you always don't know something, that's always a good one. You can always go to here and pull up our connections here, and you can always go to check in there, and you can always go to the web and search for it. So we can either use a Google or I'd probably use more DuckDuckGo. You don't know a command or you want to find some Linux commands, and then you can just go and search for there. It tells you some Linux commands here on how to be able to do anything. 35 most basic Linux commands here. So there are some pretty good ones out there. So it depends on what you want to go there. Cat, so you can research there. You can move directories. So if you don't know a command, it's really easy, and there's a big community out there. So you do have a list of all their sudo commands, so super easy to do, and you can grep if you want to go find something there. So we do have some basic information. If you need a little bit more, you can always go again. Google searching is always, or DuckDuckGo in this case, is really good search there. So we're going to go ahead and this is going to be wrapping up this video. This is Lost in Electronics, and thank you again for watching my video.